Hey, what's up you guys? It's Sydney and today I'm going to be filming my homecoming get ready with me / makeup tutorial and I am so excited. I love getting ready for school dances. It is so much fun to feel like a princess and get all dolled up and buy a beautiful dress, and I'm just so pumped. I'm really happy with how this makeup turned out. It is very glamorous and glittery and not very natural, but it's still very pretty and classic and not too over the top. And it's actually not that difficult. I know it looks difficult, but it's just a lot of blending. It's really not that hard, I promise. And if you want to learn how to do it, keep on watching. Quick side note before we get started, I wanted to mention my dress is from Free People and it is not your typical homecoming dress, but I really wanted to mix it up a little bit and I still think it's really gorgeous. I love the neckline and it has these nice bell-like sleeves like that, and it's just like a loose dress. Like, it's super comfortable because it's not tight at all, and if you're not super, like if you're a little insecure with your body, it's the perfect cut. It really doesn't hug anything, but it's still very flattering. And what else? My hair, I put it in a really slicked back low bun because I get really sweaty when my hair is down because it weighs so much. So that's about it. Now let's finally get to the makeup. Hey you guys, first I'm going to start off by using my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot and put this all over my eyelid to act as an eye primer and base. This will just help neutralize any darkness and get rid of any veins or anything like that. And then I'm going to set it with a light colored eyeshadow from the Kat Von D palette to prevent any creasing. Next, I'm going to apply some tape onto my lids to give my eyeshadow a nice sharp edge, and you really want to make sure that these are nice and even. First for eyeshadow, I'm going to use Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek on this super big blending brush and just put this in my crease to act as a transition. Then I'm going in with Burnt Orange from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and on a big blending brush, the same one I used in the last clip, I'm going to blend this all over my crease, focusing on the outside, and I'm going to continue to build this up and add a lot of dimension to the lid. Next, I'm using a Bobbi Brown eyeshadow. This is the color Camel. It is a gorgeous warm brown, and on that same fluffy brush, I'm going to continue to add more dimension and depth to the crease. And just make sure everything is super blended and diffused. Next, I'm going in with this beautiful dark brown color. It is the color Red Earth by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and on a slightly smaller crease brush, I'm just placing this on the outer corner and really darkening and adding more dimension. Once again, you just want to make sure everything is super well blended. And then I'm taking my MAC 217 and that same Red Earth color and just darkening up the outer corner. Now I'm going to go back into Burnt Orange and just touch up the edges and blend everything out. Next, I'm going to take this super small blending brush from Morphe and a black eyeshadow from the Kat Von D Shade and Light eye palette, and I'm just going to blend this into my outer corner and right along that tape line in the shape of a wing or cat eye kind of look. You just want to make sure it's super blended and there are no harsh lines, so you can't really tell where that black changes to brown or anything like that. And I'm just going to continue to go in with that black and make it as dark as possible. And then I'm going back in with my MAC 217 into the color Red Earth and just blending out the edges and making everything really seamless. And after adding that brown, I wanted to darken up the black even more, so I just added a little bit more of that into the outer corner. And this is what it should look like after all of the matte eyeshadow. Now for the fun part, I'm going to take my Too Faced glitter glue and just take a little bit of this on a synthetic brush and place this on the inner half of my lid, just where we didn't put any eyeshadow in the beginning. And then I'm going to go in with my NYX loose glitter. This is the color Bronze. It is so gorgeous. And on a flat brush, I'm just going to stamp this on my lid. Then I'm going to go in with an absolutely clean brush and just brush away any of that excess glitter. Now on my MAC 217, I'm going to use Makeup Geek's Grandstand, which is a beautiful bronze, and just place this right in between the deep outer corner and the glitter just to kind of blend those together. Next, I'm going to apply a thin line of my Kat Von D liquid eyeliner. No wing, just a straight line to thicken up my lash line, and then I'm going to remove the tape. Before we start the face, I'm going to take some simple micellar water and a cotton pad and just wipe off any excess eyeshadow, fallout, or glitter on my face just to have a nice clean canvas. And then I'm going to go in with my Smashbox Photo Finish Light Primer and put this all over my face. It is my absolute favorite. And then I'm going to use my Makeup Forever Step 1 mattifying primer, and I'm just going to apply this on my T-zone because I have super oily skin. Now for foundation, I'm going to mix my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte and my Fiona Stiles mattifying foundation, and on a paddle brush, I'm just going to distribute this all over my face, and I just mixed those equally, and then to blend this in, I'm going to use my Beauty Blender. Now to conceal any dark spots, I'm going to use my Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer and just blend that in with a Sephora foundation brush. Since I was feeling super extra, I decided to cream contour just a little bit. I'm using my Anastasia contour kit in medium, and I'm just placing this on the perimeter of my face and sculpting things out just a little bit to warm things up, and I'm using a kind of warm bronzer-like shade and then a more cool tone contour-like shade. To highlight under my eyes, I'm using my favorite Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer and putting this in the shape of a triangle and then blending that out with my Beauty Blender. And I'm also going to take some of that concealer on my forehead, on my chin, and down the bridge of my nose to even everything out. Now to set the face, I'm going to use my favorite Mercier translucent setting powder, and with my Beauty Blender, I'm just going to apply this under my eyes, on all the places I get oily, so my nose, around my chin, smile lines, and forehead. And then I'm also going to take that powder on a large powder brush and just brush that all over my face. It helps my bronzer and blush go on a lot smoother. And while I'm waiting for that powder to settle in, I'm going to do my lower lash line. I'm taking that Anastasia Red Earth color and a flat eyeshadow brush and just placing that under my eye. And then I'm taking the two lighter shades, so Burnt Orange and Peach Smoothie, and blending those out. And then I'm taking some concealer and just placing that right under the edge just to make sure it's super nice and sharp. Now I'm going to brush away any excess powder and then go in with my favorite bronzer. This is my Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion Bronzer, and I love bronzer, so I'm pretty heavy with it. I'm just going to sculpt up my face and warm things up, going under my cheekbone, around my forehead, and on my jawline. And this bronzer is magical. I swear it blends itself. It blends so easily and so effortlessly. And then I'm going to go in with my Too Faced bronzer and contour a little bit. This is a lot more cool toned. And I'm also going to take that same Too Faced bronzer and contour my nose. The blush I'm using today is the Milani blush in Luminoso. It is such a beautiful color, and I'm using my Morphe E4 and just applying this to the apples of the cheeks. Next, I'm going to take some of my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector liquid in the color Champagne Pop, and on my Beauty Blender, I'm going to put this on the tops of my cheekbones, so where I'm going to apply highlighter. This cream will just make my powder highlighter even more intense, and today I'm using my favorite, my absolute holy grail, Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl Gilded Honey Illuminator. It is fantastic. You have to try it. It's to die for. And I'm just placing this on my cheekbones, above my eyebrow, down the bridge of my nose, and on my cupid's bow. And I decided to apply a little more bronzer. This is the same Makeup Forever one, and then I also touched up my blush because the highlight kind of covered it. To brighten up the eyes, I'm using MAC's Nylon and on a small pencil brush applying this to my inner corner to brighten things up, and then also right under my brow bone. Now I'm going to apply falsies off camera, and today I'm using my favorite Sephora collection mink lashes, and the mascara I used is the L'Oreal Telescopic. Now time for brows. I'm using my Anastasia brow definer in the color dark brunette or dark brown. Can't remember, but I love the definer so much. I've never tried the Brow Wiz, but I really like this one. And I'm just darkening up the outer tail of my brow and brushing out the color I placed. And then to set my brows in place, I'm using the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. First for lips, I'm using the ColourPop Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick in the color Times Square, and I'm just applying this all over my lips. It is a beautiful nude shade. And then to add a little bit of shine, I'm using the ColourPop Lip Gloss in the color My Jam, but I decided that this was too cool toned because the eyes were pretty warm, so then I went in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the color Gilded, which is a really beautiful warm gold, so it added some of that warmth I was looking for. And then you are done with the homecoming look. Alright, so that is it for my homecoming makeup tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I love this look so much, and I want to see all of your homecoming looks. Tell me all about your homecoming dresses and how you're doing your makeup, how you're doing your hair. Like, this is my thing. I love it. I love getting all glammed up, and I'm so excited about it. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Leave any video suggestions you have in the comments below. And of course, if you're feeling extra nice, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful homecoming, and if you have already had it, I hope it was fantastic. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.